Hello everyone, I'm the Braxman here with a Raid Shadowlands video. Today we have a champion guide for Zavia, one of the greatest poisoners and legendary champions there are in the game. So before we talk further into her, I want to thank one of my clanmates, Wargasm here, for letting me borrow her account, and which has the fully built, level 60, full masteries, fully booked, all ready to go Zavia. I do not currently have a Zavia on my account, but she allowed me to borrow hers and show off her Zavia and her build. So with that, we are going to be talking about her skills, her masteries, what types of gear, what stats, and then we're going to raid her off in various places within the game, and then we're going to go ahead and test her off in the dragon. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel to see future content and hitting that little notification bell so you can see when I post those as well. Also, so you guys know, I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch. I'll have in the description down below, I'll have a link to it, and please, I would love to see you guys all there, and we'll have champion builds, takeovers, just having fun in general. So with that, I hope to see you guys there. So let's get into Zavia. So we go to open the champions, pulling up Zavia, and skills. So our first skill is Transfix, which attacks one enemy 3 times. Each has a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 3 turns. So right here, we got a multi-hitter, which is really great in various places, such as Dragon, Fire Knight, Clan Boss. Really good being able to have the chance to even put out poisons as well beyond just a multi-hit is also really good. This skill's damage is based off attack, so when building her, we're wanting lots and lots of attack to make it so that we get as much damage from the skill. This skill requires 3 books to fully book that particular skill up. And then we got her A2, which is Poison Rain, which attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. So right here, AoE, really good, especially against those waves leading up to a boss. So Doom Tower, dungeons, any of those, even Arena, because it has the AoE, so hitting all of your team or enemy team, poisoning them up is really, really, really good. And this skill this skill's damage is based off attack. It requires 4 books. It is on a 3-turn cooldown. Booking it does not decrease that cooldown, unlike other champions, which may have like a 4-turn and then get booked down to 1. This particular skill does not have that. Now let's go ahead and talk about her A3, which is Deadly Catalyst. This is probably what she is most well known for and is really a very unique skill. There's only one other champion I can think off the top of my head that has a skill like this, which is Alanarl, and you'll see why. Which is Deadly Catalyst. Attacks all enemies. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. That is really good, especially in Ice Golem. Very effective there. Deals damage from all poison debuffs on the target instantly. Poison debuffs will only deal half of the standard damage when the skill hits bosses. So if we're going against an enemy beyond a boss, and let's say you have 2 separate poisons, each of those poisons are 2 turns, and this Deadly Catalyst will just combine them and you do all that damage at one single time. So instead of waiting both turns for all the damage to happen, it'll all happen at the same time and boom, done. And you get a full 100% effective, or have it 100% effective against a specific enemy. Well, if it's a boss, it's only half effective. So if you have those 2 turns and 2 poisons, it'll only do half the amount of damage as you were if you were to wait 2 turns for both poisons to happen. And this skill is damage based off of attack. Block Revive is an amazing debuff to have, and it requires 3 books to book. And also, this is also really unique, is the fact that this skill does not have a cooldown, so it has to be 4 turns. Right here, amazing, just a great skill to have. You specifically see it a lot in dungeons, or in arena. Those are probably the most common places to see this skill used. Other than that, you mostly choose to use her A1 and A2 rather than her A3. Now let's go ahead and talk about her A4, which is Calamitous Partner, which it only applies when you have a Bellinor on the same team. So attacks one enemy, applies a debuff spread effect, attacking 4 random debuffs, or taking 4 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. So if you had 4 poisons on one enemy with this debuff spread, it would change all 4 of those debuffs on that one enemy and spread it to the whole team. This is really cool, especially if you pair that with Bellinor. Really effective. I think this would be a great skill to have, especially in Spider. If you can get one person with 4 poisons on it, boom, hit them, the whole team has poisons on right there. So really cool skill to have, especially when partnered up with Bellinor. Next we have her Aura, which is increases ally attack in all battles by 33%. So in all battles is always a really strong aura to have. There's only so many of those, and they're always really nice to have, especially since you can use her in arena now. You can use that in dungeons, Doom Tower, clan boss. All really good to get that extra damage from her and anybody who is attack based within the team. So we talked about her skills, what those were. Now let's go ahead and open her up her masteries. So for her, she went with a offensive and support tree. I highly recommend this as well. I did a little tweaking to her masteries, but this right here is the perfect mastery setup for a clan boss team. So for this, if you want the support side, you are wanting to go down the accuracy, grabbing that lore of steel, and then whatever you can do to better boost those debuffs. So you get the accuracy for the first one, then the increased accuracy by 20% or 20, then a little bit of increasing turn meter when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. Really good, great if you have a clan boss run or a dungeon run, getting those poisons done, especially with that deadly catalyst. When they all expire, boom, that turn meter can go really far up with that. Next you have Lore of Steel, being able to increase stat bonuses off of the artifact sets. And then you have the Master Hexer, which is probably the best one, especially to have with poisoners. Be able to has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn. So instead of a 2 turn for 1 poison, it could potentially be a 3 turn for 1 poison. So really good to have on poisoners. And then you have Sniper, being able to increase the chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts. So for that, you saw with the A1, you only had a 40% chance to put a poison out. Well, this would give us like a 45% chance to put that poison out. So a little bit of extra, but it allows us to fine tune and get a better chance of putting those poisons out. For the offensive side, you want to make sure you get those crit rates, crit damage, getting those, being able to do as much damage as you can against whoever you're going to go against. Then you have your, depending if your champion is going to be low health or high health when you attack. I know that this Zavia is going to have low health before they attack, and then it'll be fully rebuilt because she has lifesteal gear. So I would highly recommend going Grim Resolve if you know you're going to have lower than 50% health, and with that you're able to increase that little extra damage or produce a little bit more damage. Life Drinker, being able to be a little more sustain capable, staying alive and continuing throughout the match. Then you have Bring It Down, which is great against clan bosses and dungeons, being able to hit bosses that definitely have higher max HP than Zavia. This can definitely help you get that extra little damage, may even give you 500 to 1,000,000 more damage potentially. And then last but not least, was the one I want to bring to our attention, is Giant Slayer. Since she does have a multi-hit A1, Giant Slayer is probably going to be your best bet, being able to increase the chances of doing more damage per hit. And Giant Slayer definitely does that more so than your War Master, because you have, for War Masters, typically when you only have 1 hit, and Giant Slayers are better if you have a 3 or above hits. You could do Helm Smasher or Flawless Execution, but they won't give you the most overall damage. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about her stats. Pull those up really quick. So for her, when building her, first off, we want to see about speed tuning. So for her, we know we are building a clan boss team, and clan boss teams generally have a specific speed we're aiming for. And well, this champion right here was aiming for 194 and to between 205. So we had to hit that mark straight on, but it always depends upon what combination or team you're running. So you have to make sure you fit that criteria, whatever speed you're running. Then go ahead and get that accuracy up to at least 220, 250. If anything is above that, it's not going to hurt you, but it's not necessarily going to help you. With the new dungeons 21 to 25, it may be more of a beneficial getting to the 280s range. I haven't experimented too much with that, but I highly recommend at least getting to the 250 range. Next, we want to be able to get is that crit rate, getting that up to 100% so we can get as strong hits as we possibly can versus a weak or normal one. Next, we want at least that crit rate up to between 3,000 to 4,000, if more, all the better. That allows us to get as much damage potential out of her, along with the crit damage as well. Being able to get that as high as possible. I would love to see 150 minimum. If you can get more, all the better for you. And last but not least, we are looking for sustained capabilities. So you are wanting HP and defense so you can stay alive in the battle. So for this, the defense is a bit low for a Zavia, but knowing her, she is meant to do damage rather than stay alive. And the fact that you have her in a lifesteal set, if you build her that way, she'll be amazing and be able to stay through the match. So we got the defense, which is 1,500. You could do up to 2,000. You don't necessarily need to, but 2,000 between 1,500 is an ideal range. If you can get to 40,000 points or HP, you are spot on. You should be good to go and keep your Zavia alive for your team. Resistance doesn't really necessarily matter, but if you know you're going to go against a person that's putting out lots and lots of debuffs, you might want to consider putting some resistance, but it isn't necessary. You may get most of it from Great Hall, and that's totally fine, but you don't necessarily need to worry about it from artifacts. Now let's go ahead and talk about the specific pieces of gear I would recommend on your Zavia. So we have her banner. Accuracy is probably hands down the best banner or type of banner you can get. Then you have your crit damage, getting that little extra potential. You could do an attack, but crit damage is going to do a lot better for you. Then you have a ring. Since we are wanting to get to that 40,000 range, HP ring will definitely help you with that, reaching that up. Then you got your speed boot, being able to get you to speed tune correctly to the right number that you need. So I know that this champion needs to get 104 or 194. Well, that requires lots and lots of speed, so I'm probably not going to be able to get it from substats alone, so I'm going to require a speed boot. Whatever little subsets you need to make sure you get those stats I was talking about earlier, those are the best way. Then the attack percent, that right there is going to be a big thing to do. This piece currently isn't at 16, but if you take it up to 16, we should be good to go and ready to do as much damage. But attack percent is probably the best piece to have on your chest. If not, if you don't have one of those, maybe a defense percent or an HP percent, either way would work, but make sure you get those substats to help fulfill the requirements you need. Crit rate is massive. Getting up to that 100% does take a lot, so crit rate gloves are very much necessary. And then you have the main flat stats of defense, HP, and attack. So with that, you are wanting a high attack weapon. Being able to have it higher means more damage, more attack, better for your skills. And with those, just make sure you get the right substats to help you fulfill the requirements I talked about a little bit earlier. Okay, so we did that. Now let's go ahead and raid her off in various places. She's generally really good everywhere. Clan boss, definitely excellent. Being able to have that multi-hit A1 that gives you chances for each hit to give you poisons, and AoE 2-hit that gives you poisons. Her deadly catalyst may or may not necessarily be the best choice to have, being able to blow things up. Her A1 and A2 are probably going to be the best choices for clan boss, but definitely excellent. Let's go ahead and give her a 5. Campaign locations, she does have a multi-hit, which is quite useful, but I won't say she is the best, so we're going to go ahead and give her a 4. Arena offense, because she has the AoE, the multi-hit, and the catalyst, being able to put all those poisons and then blow it up really quickly, you can kill off that team immediately. So definitely good arena offense right there. It's not going to be the most top tier, but she can definitely do the job. Spider's Den, I personally wouldn't use her there, but she can be used quite well, especially if you have the Bellinor, the A4 capability. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a 4 on that. Any and all of the dungeons she is perfect and great at. So for any of the dungeons, we're going to go ahead and give her a 5. She can easily do, especially multi-hit, AoE, and the deadly catalyst. Boom, right there. She's especially great at Dragon's Lair. That's why we're going to go ahead and test her off in that. Minotaur's Labyrinth, definitely a dungeon. Whoop. Actually, the rest of it, we'll go ahead and give her a 5. And for Faction Wars, which is the last of them, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. She is great there. She is probably one of the best poisoners, if not the best, for that particular faction. You also have the Cold Hearts, which also belong to the Dark Elves. They can be quite a lot of help, especially when backing up Zavia to finish up that faction war. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give her a 5. She is definitely going to help you in all things and everything within the faction war. So confirm and yeah, well, voila, and submit. So those are the ratings. Now let's go ahead and test her off within the dragon. So let me pull that up really quickly. So I'll just show you the first round and then I'll catch you at the end, so you don't have to see the full run. So right here, we got Zavia as the lead because we have the aura, which is increasing the ally attack, and we have Stagnite because we have the decreased defense and decreased attack. Rosin is great since he is of strong affinity and decreased defense and weaken, which is really good against the main dragon itself. Not necessarily the best against the boss or the waves, but really good against the dragon itself. Cold Art, being able to put out that enemy max HP and poisons as potential, and then Arbor with the revive. So let's go ahead and open that and start that battle. Okay, let's see. Okay, increase that attack from Arbiter, and then we put decreased turn meter so everyone's slow and we get more chances in. Then AoE decreased turn meter, yes, decreased defense and decreased attack. So now we are up to Zavia. We are going to use her AoE 2 hits right there. So I put on 1 speed so you can see how fast and how much damage these particular enemies can take. So boom. So even a quarter with just those skills. If you had more crit damage, more attack, that would boom take those enemies straight down to 0. But right here we got at least third of the way on all of them, and all of them have 2 poisons except for Apothecary and Crossbow. Everyone else does so, and a few of them got the 3 turns instead of the 2 turns because of the 30% increase from mastery. So let's go ahead and put on auto and let the finish of this match, and I'll speed it up to the end and I'll catch you at the end of the dragon. Hello, we are back with the dragon. Now we let round 1 and round 2 pass, so now we are back at the dragon. Thought I would show her hitting with her A1, being able to put multiple hits out. Well, sadly she didn't get the poison, but we have Rosin. Then we have Cold Heart. We'll just go ahead and use her A1. Decrease speed. Nope. Increase attack. Being able to boost that attack, get more damage out of our Zavia. Then multi-hit. Boom, you saw those three main ones, which gave you 7,000, and then there was an 18,000 in red. That is you seeing the Giant Slayer in effect, being able to put as much damage out from that, and then Rosin. So I just thought I would at least show you how much those Zavia hits could do and help you with. Well, that is it for this video. Hope you had a good time enjoying it and taught you a lot about how to build Zavia, what ways are good, what stats, what her skills are, and what masteries I would recommend, and where you should try her out. So with that, I hope to see you guys later, either through Twitch or back on one of these videos. And with that, hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys. Bye.